Adolescence has been nominated for 13 Emmy Awards, including Outstanding Limited Series, Outstanding Lead Actor Stephen Graham,
What have you done?
Outstanding Supporting Actor Owen Cooper,
I haven't done anything.
and Outstanding Supporting Actress Erin Doherty.
You need to sit down, Jamie.
Do not tell me when to sit down!
Forbes raves Adolescence is an all-time technical masterpiece. Deadline declares it a world-changing phenomenon. For your Emmy consideration, Outstanding Limited Series, Adolescence, only on Netflix.
Did you just call Jamie Lee Curtis Jodie Foster?
No, Ashley. Jodie Foster's in the original Freaky Friday.
Wait,
Gen X lesson.
what do you mean original Freaky Friday?
Oh my God, do I have to go through this lesson?
Welcome to the Ankler Podcast. I'm your host, Elaine Lowe, staff writer at The Ankler and author of the series Business Newsletter. We'll be joined later by Dealmakers writer Ashley Cullins to talk about Brad Pitt and fast cars and how some of the summer's biggest blockbusters like F1 and Jurassic World Rebirth are fueled by good brand deals. But in the meantime, since we're recording this on Wednesday, August 6th, the Walt Disney Company gave us a jam-packed third quarter earnings report, dropping news left and right about Hulu and ESPN. One streamer's going, another's coming, and Sean McNulty of The Wake Up has digested it all for me and is ready to tell both me and Like and Subscribe's Natalie Jarvie what's going on at the House of Mouse. Sean, are your eyes glazed over yet from the flurry of news, or has Mr. Iger invigorated you this morning?
This WWE deal at ESPN invigorated me. The NFL deal put me to sleep, and it still put me to sleep. I've had several conversations today about it. This gets the award for worst deal of the year. It's not that it's bad. It's just that the information, the minutia of it is just like, what is this exactly?
That I'm super interested in hearing about these sports, Sean, but just what's the TLDR on this?
Well, ESPN's buying NFL Network essentially, and it'll close at the end of 2026. So it won't even really happen for another year and a half. So that's the real net of it, if you will, if you want to really.
Okay, and then WWE stuff is moving from Peacock to ESPN.
The premium live events, the PLE, so the WrestleManias, SummerSlams, those are moving from streaming to ESPN D2C, with some of them will probably also air on ESPN, but those details are going to be worked out. That's starting next year, so that'll be in 2026. So, yeah.
Okay, interesting. Now, the thing that I do care about, Natalie, I know you've been waiting literal years for this, is Hulu finally...
Oh, no, wait. I thought you were going to say we can watch the U.S. Open on D2C on ESPN next month. Come on, what are you talking about?
That would be fine. That's great.
This is your dream. This time, remember you came to New York the one year was on charter blackout. You were complaining you couldn't watch the tennis. Your 2023 nightmares are over, Elaine.
I pay attention to ESPN Plus, which... I don't even know. Is that still a thing? Standalone?
Well, now it's like ESPN Select, I think they're called. It's Unlimited and Select, I think this is the two names.
ESPN gets $11 from me about 2 to 3 times a year, depending on which slams they're hosting.
I think it's $12 now, Elaine, so be careful. But I got to check on that. Yeah. Anyway, you can stream all you want in D2C and, as of August 21st there. But yes, Hulu's I think the bigger story of what's going on today. What's on what popped on your radar today, Elaine?
Just that Hulu's finally going to be in the Disney Plus platform. I mean, Natalie, you and I have been like, when's this happening?
Oh my gosh, I think I predicted this 5 years ago. Now, I understand that there were some things they had to work through,
out
like,
that
Comcast ownership.
Yeah, that pesky Comcast ownership. They finally sorted that out at the beginning of summer. So now Disney can truly, do whatever they want with the Hulu brand, and what they want to do with it is apparently, wrap it into Disney Plus and take it international. Hulu has never been an international brand, and now it will be. So that's really interesting. But, my heart is hurting a little bit for the, end of Hulu as we know it. I've been writing about this company for a long, long time, and it's certainly had its ups and downs over the years.
Yeah, I remember the OG Hulu, the next day programming that you get from all the broadcast platforms. And now we've come all the way here where, since Disney acquired the rest of the stake in Hulu from Comcast, it now can kind of do whatever it wants with it, right? And it's choosing to fold it into the Disney Plus streaming app. So that's where it'll be starting in 2026, right, Sean?
Yeah, it's only going to be there. So, now it's in there now. Hulu has a tile inside Disney Plus. It just won't have its separate app.
Only
so to be clear, you can. I watch Hulu inside of Disney Plus as it is anyway, because it's just easier to do. I don't have to do two, app. You have to change apps to just see different stuff. So it's easier. But if you watch Hulu on a standalone Hulu app, that app will disappear. Yeah, exactly. So you'll have to now go to Disney Plus. Even if if you were a Hulu only subscriber, you'd still have to go to Disney Plus. Even if you weren't a Disney Plus subscriber, So that's where it gets. ESPN, they're going to have a little bit of a challenge with this one, I think.
Okay, it's so confusing though, and if it's confusing for us, people who write about and talk about TV all day long, this is going to be a little bit of a hurdle for the consumer.
It does feel like Disney has been trying to work toward this. You know, they've had a lot of like bundling, you know, just buy the bundle, just get everything.
Yeah.
So, you know, but yeah, there's going to be a lot of like logistics
it's just legacy,
and details to sort through.
Legacy stuff.
I'd argue that the bundling makes it worse, right? Like if like having to, so now I'm paying for these things and now I'm paying for them together. And now this one thing that I was paying for separately is going away entirely and it's going into this third thing.
Elaine, are you sure you're not Gen X? I don't know. I think I'm pretty sure you're falling into our crew.
I don't mean to sound like a Luddite, but come on,
since you wrote
man.
about Gen X, I think you're falling into our crew.
And
here,
now
Elaine.
the ESPN standalone streamer is launching on August 21st.
Right.
But you're telling me that ESPN Plus will still also exist?
Yes, but kind of within that app, which you can also watch inside of Disney Plus if you like, although the ESPN app will be separate for quite a while, I would think. There's no talk of folding that in.
All of this is just, you know, really putting it into stark terms, how much the streaming industry has changed since Disney first started going down this path. I mean, do you remember when Disney Plus was just going to be a family-friendly service and ESPN was just ESPN Plus and was never going to go, you know, over the top?
And also would never have gambling
And Hulu
either,
is where the more
way.
adult stuff was going to go.
Right. You never want to cross the streams here. You want to want our R-rated Hulu content near our Disney Plus content, and we don't want our gambling near ESPN. And now it's all literally inside of Disney Plus as of later this year.
I mean, it makes sense, right? There's been this huge shakeout of smaller streaming services, and now it's pretty clear that if you want to compete against Netflix, if you can compete against Netflix, you have to be kind of a mega service with something for everyone, and you have to, go after as large a subscriber base as possible.
And plus the cost considerations here, you're running 3 different apps, you have 3 different departments, and again, we'll see what this means in terms of once Hulu is gone, if there's going to be other, efficiencies found inside of Disney for people who just work on Hulu. Kind of, when ABC kind of got folded into Hulu, we saw a lot of downsizing there. So we'll keep an eye on that. That wasn't part of the announcement today, and we'll see how that goes. But certainly, that's generally how these things work.
Well, what does this mean revenue-wise for Disney? Does this mean that they're basically losing all of these standalone Hulu subscribers? Are they getting bundled? What happens?
No, I mean, you can still, again, if you want to subscribe to Hulu only, you can. It's just you can't go into a Hulu only app on your screen to do it.
You would still just have to access it through Disney Plus, but only get Hulu.
So, no, because you don't want to leave the revenue, I believe. So the revenue for Q2 for these services, and this is back of the napkin math, so take it, a bit as you like here. But Disney Plus was $3 billion in Q2. Hulu was $1.9 billion. So it's still, 2/3 the size of Disney Plus. And again, Hulu's a U.S. only business. That's Disney Plus. That's a global number. So
not that we're going to know what those numbers are because Disney's decided to stop reporting its streaming subscribers. Thanks, Netflix.
So kind of
This is my least favorite corporate decision.
The worst. Yeah.
Keeping us in the dark even further.
It's to give you more insight, Elaine. See, if we don't tell you the numbers, you'll know a lot more about our business. See, it's a great spin that both of them have tried and just no one's buying it. And just say you're not telling us, fine, thank you.
So is it basically just the quarterly reporting that's stopping? Well, what are they transitioning to?
They're just not going to tell you. I mean, it's like Netflix.
At all.
So Q3 will be the last quarter we get numbers for Disney Plus and Hulu for subscriber numbers.
And then we'll just hope for maybe a morsel during their annual report.
They'll tell you we hit 60 million at some point, as Netflix has said. They'll tell you the milestones as they hit, but that's probably about it.
All right. Well, we're going to take a little break, and when we get back, let's talk about how a good brand deal can make or break your movie. We'll be back in a moment. This podcast is supported by Netflix, presenting Nobody Wants This. The AFI winner for TV Program of the Year is now an Emmy Award nominee for Outstanding Comedy Series, lead actress Kristen Bell, and lead actor Adam Brody. NPR raves, Nobody Wants This positively soars, and IndieWire declares it one of the best shows of the year. USA Today calls Emmy nominees Kristen Bell and Adam Brody electric. For your Emmy consideration. Welcome back to the Ankler Podcast. I'm Elaine Lowe here with Sean McNulty and Natalie Jarvie to talk about big brands in big movies. We've also got Ashley Cullins here with us, who writes the Ankler's Dealmakers column and just wrote a great story on the increase of brand integrations and why they matter in this industry climate. Hey, Ashley.
Hi, guys.
Okay, so Ashley, what I got from your story is, well, first off, people don't want ads. So marketers are figuring out new ways to feed these ad-avoidant viewers their brands, like a late-stage capitalist version of hiding a dog's pill in a gob of peanut butter. And they're paying studios and streamers really good money to do it.
That is such a visual metaphor. that you just gave
Where's
me.
she going on this one? I was like, oh, I'll go with it. We'll allow it. Okay.
You just stick with me, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I thought Jay Goodman explained it in a way that people could really understand, but that, Elaine, might just be even better.
You're
But yeah,
welcome.
So Jay, who used to run CAA Entertainment Marketing and then founded Super Connector Studios and works with brands like LVMH, Nike, AB InBev, basically explained to me that content consumption is at an all-time high everywhere across the world, no matter format, device, but so is ad aversion. So at the same time, people are watching more, consuming more. It's harder than ever to actually reach them if you're trying to sell them something, which is a problem for people who have things to sell. And so brands and movies and TV series that are trying to market themselves are having to get creative and make their ads feel like entertainment in order to actually break through the noise. So that's where all of this is coming from, essentially.
I mean, walk us through like the basic levels of things, right? Because there's like straight up product placement where you see a can of Coke or something in the background, or a character is driving a Mercedes, as I saw in every single Jurassic World movie. Like, well, what else is there? Is that how many different formulations of brand deals are there?
Yeah, so that's just like the most basic level. And a lot of that is actually free. It's like they give you free product in exchange for the exposure, because like everything you see in an on-screen world is either bought, built, or borrowed. So those bags of chips in a convenience store, the plates as a family sitting down for dinner, like all of that stuff, if you don't get it for free from a company that is trying to get exposure, costs money. And so brands see this opportunity. And back in the day, they used to just drive around with trucks and show up and set and be like, hey, what do you need this week? Want some Cokes? And
Wait, is that really how it used to work?
pretty much.
Door-to-door product placement salesman?
Elaine's imagining a horse and buggy right now, everybody.
I am.
So just FYI.
That is a little bit of a simplification of it, but these like product placement agencies had relationship with production designers, and they'd kind of be like, hey, here's what we got. What do you need? Let's, work out something. And then as these deals became more sophisticated, people at the studios would be like, it's great that you have all of those Cokes, but we actually just worked out a partnership with Pepsi. So we're going to have to replace all of this. And everything sort of got a little bit more sophisticated. And now these partnerships are massive, and it goes all the way from exchanging free stuff to get exposure in the background of a scene to, multi-million-dollar partnerships where you have a company like Expensify that is on an F1 car and on Brad Pitt and on the little toy car that they're selling at Mattel and is in the Happy Meal. And so these things continue on well after the credits roll. And so these partnerships have gotten just like insanely valuable.
I mean, to some degree, this is all just, standard fare. But I know a lot of people still chafe at like seeing brands in a movie or on a show. I mean, Natalie, how do you feel about all this?
It doesn't honestly really bother me all that much. It feels like kind of part of the contract as a consumer these days. I know that, I'm still in a valuable demographic for a little bit longer here. So, that these brands want to get in front of me and that's part of it. Ashley, I thought it was so interesting, the anecdote in your story about how for the F1 movie, having brands on Brad Pitt's, driver's uniform or on the car actually made a lot of sense, because in F1, you see all that brand advertising anyway. So it would have almost felt weird to not have it. And I love that as like, oh, that's a very natural way to do this in a way that like isn't going to cause viewers to chafe.
Yeah. And that's exactly why it worked. Like it was everywhere, but it's everywhere in real life. Like it's in your face in the sport. So if it's not also in your face on screen, even if you don't like overtly notice it, like for F1 fans, that would have looked off.
If you just had a plain white jacket.
Exactly. Yeah, right. Some Gucci thing that is like, oh, yes, I'm wearing my cape. Yeah, here we go. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was the perfect environment. And then like Superman, because there's a dog in the movie, they partnered with Milkbone, which isn't the kind of thing that you normally think of with a superhero movie. But one of the things that WB said, the co-head of motion picture marketing, Dana Nussbaum, said that, it's a different audience. And so instead of going after a partner who has like, the Venn diagram of their audience is a circle, they partnered with like this beloved pet brand, which in a large part is a totally new audience for them. So instead of repeating their message to people who had been seeing it anyway, by partnering with a pet brand, because there's a dog in the movie, they're able to extend their reach, which I just thought was much more intuitive than it initially seems.
Can I step into this conversation a little bit, Elaine, and tell you about a time before product placement?
Okay, Grandpa McNulty, go on.
That's it. Exactly, taking the Rushfield chair again. I mean, in the 80s, like you would have like fake brands everywhere. They didn't have real brands. They'd be like kind of play on names that were kind of like, play on the brands because they didn't want to have the actual brands in these things. And you'd have these, it would look dumb, and you kind of had like beers that weren't Bud. It looked like a Bud can, but it wasn't a Bud can. And this kind of stuff went on. The 80s changed a little bit. The 90s is where this really took off. I mean, this is going on for a while. I mean, I'm going to bring you back now. It's a movie called Wayne's World. Maybe you've heard of it, back in 1990, I think it was 2, who famously made fun of this. There's a whole scene with Wayne and Garth going like, and selling out was a big thing. And they were like posing next to cans of Pepsi and, Doritos and being like, we're not selling out. It's bad, man. Like, Reality Bites, same thing. Conversations about this, the mid 90s or early 90s. Happy Gilmore is back now, right? What's a big plot point in the first movie? Subway sandwiches, which is still in the movie. So like, it's funny how it kind of ebbs and flows. And I feel like Ashley, we're on an uptick in this now. I think it kind of goes in popularity of how much like brands try it out and then maybe they don't get the results they want and then it goes away. Then like, oh wait, what if we try this new idea again? It's been going on for a long time, but it does feel like it's having maybe more of a moment. And it's also those brand partnerships. And I think you touched a bit of this in your story as well, but even if they're not in the movie, just doing the off-channel brand, being associated with these things is a big tactic that studios and marketers are working on as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, just look at Barbie. Like, people still talk about Barbie. That was 2 years ago. They turned the entire world Barbie pink. There were so many partnerships, and most of those were not like product placement. It was licensing deals outside of the movie.
Yeah.
And so, as tired as I am of saying the word constriction, everybody's trying to cut back the amount of money that they're spending on movies and TV without taking those dollars off the screen. And brand dollars is one way to make up that difference. And it's happening at a time when brands are finding themselves in need of ways to reach people. So it's symbiotic is a word that was used a lot. And it really is. It's like, capitalism, but symbiotic capitalism.
How much has that dynamic changed over the years, right? It's not like a brand begging to like have their product put in there or trying to hawk their brand versus a lot of these Hollywood companies actually needing the funding, needing the extra money. Like you said, Ashley, it helps to offset a lot of the millions of dollars in marketing budget these days.
Yeah, it is, it's not like fully one-sided. It truly is mutually beneficial. But yeah, there's competition, right? And studios want to be able to make up budget shortfalls. And then on the end, I think that one of the most valuable parts of these situations is that extension of reach. It's like all of these projects spend so much money on marketing. And if you have a brand partner that has 20 million Instagram followers, then maybe you don't have to spend quite as much money on marketing on the back end if you've got access to their audience. So it's changing the game in a lot of ways.
But there is a line, though, Elaine, where, I mean, and these things live forever. Like they said, the Subway sandwich and Happy Gilmore, that's still here, 30 years later. It's like, these things don't go away. For movies that are become beloved, obviously at the time, Happy Gilmore was a bit of a risk on the young Adam Sandler. It's his second movie, but that paid off big time in a sense. But it also, and this is maybe the ebb and flow of it, actually can be done very badly, where it's like, why is there a 5-second shot of a Heineken bottle that really makes no sense in this? It's like you just see, it's become so obvious, Ashley, kind of defeats the purpose, where I think people can kind of recognize or be like, yeah, that's lame. Like, it can get F1, very organic. Obviously, other times it feels stuffed in. So there's still a line here, Elaine. I don't know. It's my take on that.
Natalie, you were saying earlier, like you and a lot of people have a higher tolerance for this sort of thing now. Yeah. And especially as I think about, I don't know, just like doom scrolling on Instagram. It's like, how many influencers and creators do I follow who have figured out a way to sort of tie in these ads and these
the whole
sponsors in a
business
way
model,
where
yeah.
like you accept it and you acknowledge it and you understand that this is just the way the world works now.
Yeah, I mean, it absolutely is fundamental to the creator side of the business. And, listen, I don't think every person who follows a creator or is a fan of someone on a platform like Instagram or YouTube like loves to see every ad that they see. But I do think that creators have found a way to make it feel really seamless, whether it's like a direct integration or, oftentimes they make it part of their brand that they are also promoting another brand. So whether it's true, they will say something like, I would never support this brand I didn't already love or use in my personal life. Or they will bring their fans along for the ride and say, hey, I've been wanting that brand to sponsor me for a while, and now it's finally happened. And this is a sign of my success and my achievement. And then their fans, want to be excited for them and support them. And then, might actually go out and buy a product. So it's just a different relationship, I think.
But they also like own them. I mean, there's, Ryan Reynolds and Aviation Gin, like, the liquor brands you have, but the Poppy who's the influencer? I think was that Alex Earl?
Alex Earl. Yeah.
Like,
and she just dropped a new can of Poppy that you can buy
exactly,
that she's designed, So people who love Alex Earl might want to go to stores and get that.
Skims and Kim Kardashian, like it's just become such a part of it where that wasn't really, again, back in my day, it's like that wasn't really, doing an ad for something was a big deal, but much now it's just so organic to being a celebrity. So I think that there's, Natalie, the tolerance or the acceptance, whatever you want to call it, I think is definitely a lot more accepted, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, in general, I would say, I think as we've all kind of been saying, like Hollywood did have this period where they kind of turned their nose up at brand integrations and having brands be part of the financing process of a film. Yeah. But, that's changing. And I think that as Hollywood enters this kind of new uncertain moment, they're going to need all the money they can get to make their projects. I mean, Amelia Perez was backed by Saint Laurent. There was an Oscar-nominated short film that was backed by PayPal recently. I mean, there are ways
Which
brands...
one?
The Barber of Little Rock, which was nominated for a short Oscar.
Oscar-nominated payment service company PayPal.
Yes, exactly. But the film was about a man who was trying to help people who didn't have access to bank accounts find ways to bank. And so it was a very natural partnership for PayPal.
Just don't use Venmo.
And that's the key. Like, people don't mind stuff being in their face if it doesn't feel hokey, for lack of, like, authenticity is the buzzword that these people love to use, is like, it has to feel authentic. As long as it feels authentic, people don't mind as much, because I think, at least on some level, people understand that, money makes the world go round. And Stacey Jones from Hollywood Branded, like, put it pretty explicitly. She was like, you don't like seeing brands on your screen? Fine. It's going to cost you more to go to the movies. Like, that's the trade-off.
Yeah, and F1, like, if they had a bunch of fake brands on there, how that would look weird for the movie. Like, you know what I mean? So even it would hurt the movie if it wasn't using real brands, because it wouldn't feel like F1, So I think sometimes it's like it's necessary to tell your story for some of these things.
See, I would love to rail against the use of brands on
Would
screen.
you weren't really Gen Xing today, here, Elaine. I love it.
And then I realized that one of my top 5 favorite movies, maybe my favorite movie, is You've Got Mail, which is basically a 90-minute ad for like AOL. So, who am I to talk?
A Time Warner movie. Yes, exactly.
I know. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Ashley, or should I say celebrated author Ashley Cullins, whose new book,
Yes.
Your Favorite Scary Movie, drops August 19th.
Yeah.
Tell
Ashley,
us about it,
Do you have a
Ashley.
copy handy, Ashley, to show the people?
Show us.
Did you guys make me bring one? Yeah.
Uh-huh, yeah.
She's like, I just so happen to have here.
Speaking
I
of
got
product placement,
badgered into getting one out of the box. I did not, but yes, here is the book. It is called Your Favorite Scary Movie. It's about the Scream franchise and how they redefined the horror genre back in 1996 and continue to do so almost 30 years later.
there you go.
It's very fun, very crazy, very just surreal experience. And it's like, it's about to be out in the world.
That's the way books go, Ashley. Yes, you want to get them out of your computer and into people's hands. Yes. Was there any product placement in Scream? I'm trying to think now, way back when. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think there was, right?
I actually almost brought that up when you were talking about how people used fake brands way back in the day, because I talked to the people who did all of that on the Scream movies. And in Scream 6, there's a scene in a bodega, and a lot of the brands are fake brands because when you're talking about a situation where there's
Right.
like an attack
They
and
don't wanna
blood
be.
and
Yeah.
people are getting shot,
Yep.
you know, there is real beer in the scene. I'm pretty sure it's Coors. So like they did have real brands, but if you look close, like a lot of it is fake and it's all just like inside jokes.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. There is that line of like, yeah, we don't want to be associated with that. Thank you. You know, F1 is Brad Pitt and F1 is one thing. You know, yeah. The Scream Killer.
If there was
is
a
not,
fiery crash in F1, Expensify might have felt a little bit differently about having its logo on the car.
Yeah, or Mercedes or whatever. Yeah, the car maker. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, I think that's a perfect bit of product placement for our own Ashley Cullins to wrap this conversation. And now, Sean, give us the TLDR on this weekend's box office and how many brands should I be expected to see in weapons? What's coming out this weekend?
Well, weapons, I don't think there was any brands in that, but Freaker Friday, maybe that's that's another throwback. So, that one seems a little more open to it. So I think there's more swapping going on this time. I was on kind of trying to decode the reviews here. So I don't know. It's not are you fans of the Lohan version? I'm going to ask my millennial
millennial
people here.
woman isn't Sean?
I'm just checking. All right. Just making
He's
sure.
like, get off my back.
Are you, my question being, are you seeing this one? Thank you.
Well.
All right. Well, now who's all right? I don't know. Ashley, no?
I will see it eventually, but we have been promising our children a trip to the theater for ages, and I doubt I'm going to be able to convince my 7-year-old that Freakier Friday is better to go see than some of the other options.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Just explain to your 7-year-old that in the early aughts, Lindsay Lohan was a big deal, and we need to see her return to the big screen now. I'm sure they'll understand.
I tried to explain Janet Jackson to him, and I was like,
that's pretty big. I don't know about that one.
She was my generation's Beyonce. And he goes, what's a Beyonce?
Yeah. Oh, boy.
That's
Wow. All right. Yeah. You're still recovering from that one. Okay. Fair enough. I think when I saw the original Freaking Friday was the Jodie Foster movie was like an HBO staple, like when I was probably not that, maybe 8 or 9. Maybe I was like closer to 9, Ashley, but I wasn't that far off from 7.
Did you just call Jamie Lee Curtis Jodie Foster?
No, Ashley. Jodie Foster's in the original Freaky Friday.
Wait, what do you mean original Freaky Friday?
Oh my God, do I have to go through this lesson? Okay, there's an original Freaky Friday, which is based on a book, actually, that was made in the late 1970s, which is what your beloved movies were actually all based on.
Oh, I hate it when there's something that predates my stuff.
Wow, I knew you all work in the movie business. Wow.
I thought I was, this is what I get for being like a mansplainer.
Exactly. Sometimes it needs splaining. I'm sorry. All right. This is called for it. This is educating the people here. All right. So, yes, with Haley Mills, I think was her mom. I have to look up who the mom was.
How is this the first time I'm ever hearing of this?
I don't know.
Berenstein Bears territory.
1976 was the original movie. So, there you go. Freaky Friday, Jodie Foster.
Wow.
And
let's all pause to Google, please.
Exactly. Yeah.
You just broke my brain, Sean.
I'm shocked at this, but okay, I'll take it. It's a rated G movie. So there, Barbara Harris was the mother who I'm familiar with. So yeah, there you go. Jodie Foster in the early years. So a viewing assignment for you all this weekend. Maybe don't go see this one. Go see the original one way back in the day that good old Sean here grew up on HBO.
All right. Well, that is a wrap on this week's Ankler podcast as we all go and Google the origins of Freaky Friday.
Wow.
Please visit theankler.com.
I'm going to tell
subscribe.
Richard on you people.
We've got a full suite of newsletters and pods and the latest industry insights on theankler.com. And if you enjoyed this show, which I sure hope you do, leave us a rating and review. You can also tell us how you're feeling and if there's anything else you'd like to see on the show at podcasts@theankler.com. And of course, follow us at The Ankler on your socials. Thanks so much to Ashley Cullins, Sean McNulty, and Natalie Jarvie for joining. And a special thanks to you all for listening. I'm Elaine Lowe. See you next week.